Hi everyone, my name is Rhonda Robson and thank you so much for joining me on my fluid art channel. I am a fluid artist, self-taught, and I am right in the middle of the United States in Sioux City, Iowa. And today's video is a continuation of trying to learn a technique that I accidentally came across. And I will link the video for that one right up here. But I came across it and I've been just trying to figure out how to do this technique again. And it's one of those happy accidents that I love the painting that I have, but I haven't been able to replicate exactly what I wanted to do until this time. Now I'm not exactly happy with the composition, but I've finally figured out how much time I need to let the paint dry in order to do this technique. And I call it a dry swipe technique because the most of the painting is dry, but there are areas that it's wet where you can get a texture. So it's very similar to like what you would do with a balloon technique after it's been drying for a while, utilizing some silicone in order to get like a flower type effect. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the painting that I did, and it started out as a different painting, and I tried it on that one, and then I redid it again, and I wanted it to be an ocean effect with a moon and then a little bit of sunrise coming up. And I got too much of it on this one. So again, I don't like necessarily the composition of it, but I was able to replicate the technique again, which I'm very happy about. I just did it too much. Sometimes something good, too much of it is not good. So anyway, that's this one here. It's okay. It's probably gonna be redone again. I do like this technique and I want to redo it again, but it has a texture that adds some depth to your paintings, and so it's similar to like almost like your palette knifing technique, but it's still fluid art. So well, let's get you down on the canvas to show you how I did this, how I discovered how much time I needed to let the painting dry in order to get this technique. And then I'm hoping that I'll be able to replicate it again, but then with an actual painting that I like the composition on. Okay, well, let's get you down on the canvas. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell. And thanks again for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. Let's get you down on this canvas. Bye for now. Bye. Okay, hey everyone. So today's video is about utilizing some excess paint that I used from a pour earlier today. All it is Payne's gray and white, and then it has a little bit of silver in that, and maybe a little bit of black, but not much. And that was from a Dutch pour that I did. And then this was a painting that I did that I tried a new technique, and I didn't wait long enough to scrape it. And so I'm going to redo it today utilizing the Payne's gray. So I'm going to make it more of a just barely at dusk or barely at dawn one. I think I'll do probably barely at dawn. And then I'm going to utilize most of the Payne's gray down here, a little bit of white with that to put behind it, so I can scrape it if I so choose to do that, kind of similar to what I did here. You can kind of see the texture that I created here. So that's going to be here. This is the ocean. I've already done and painted. I already painted the sides a little bit and then defined my horizon. I will be utilizing just a Payne's gray through there as a fluid art, not just painted on there. So I'll be doing that. And then up here, I'm going to be utilizing a gray. And this gray is actually leftover paint from a pour I did last night that I had black and white left over. And then what I did was, it was too stark of a gray, so I added just a little bit of this tiny dab of red and then a little bit of this blue, okay? And then I added some purple, some amethyst, and a little bit of this magenta, and a little bit of this lavender purple as well as a little bit of this pink that I'll show you what I created from that, and a little bit of this blue. And I have this more soft, really pale gray with a little bit of hint of purple in it. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing up here in my sky. And then this color, this kind of pinkish peach color, is actually made from this right here, this pink right here, and which is kind of more of a peach, and then some magenta and a little bit of purple, and it is really pretty soft pink. So I did that, and then the blue, oh, and I also added a little bit of this gray too as well to give it a softer look as well. It was a little bit too pink, and so I wanted to soften that up a little bit. So I did add a little bit of gray. In addition to that, this blue, I added this blue right here, which is sky blue. And then I added a little bit of the gray and a little bit of the purple. And I think I added a little bit of magenta in there. But anyway, it's a nice soft blue. I'm not going to use much of this. I'm probably going to put it behind the gray. And then as I swipe, it'll pop the blue out. And yeah, so it's a soft blue too. So this is I just added a little bit as I wanted to create the color that I created. Then I have titanium white as well. And all of these paints are a 4-part medium to 1 part paint to 1 part water. So the medium is 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part GAC. And I know that it's a lot of GAC in there, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to utilize what I've already pre-made quite a while ago. So then what I did was I took some of my white, and that's in here, and I added some wood conditioner. And that is going to help me to create some wave and the froth or the foam that's on top of the waves. That's what's going to help me create a little bit of that too as well. So I've got that here for later, and I'll be utilizing that with this tool here. And then the other swipe, it'll be more of a bigger swipes with bigger pieces of plastic instead of the small piece. So anyway, that's how we're going to get started, or that's how I'm going to do this. Those are the paints that I used. Now let's get started actually painting this canvas. So the canvas that I want to, what I would like to portray here is, if you notice there's some white over here, I am going to have this be a dark ocean, dark sky. I'll probably put some of this Payne's Gray up here as well, but a dark sky, then just barely a hint of the pink with a little bit of blue in here, okay? And I'll just put the pink right at the horizon here as the sun is starting to come. And I'll probably create a little bit of the sun right here, so coming up. Then over here, have you ever seen where the sun's coming up and the moon is out too? I'm going to have a little bit of white here with the Payne's Gray as kind of the moon, and then I'm going to try to reflect it as well as a little bit of the sun in here. So that's my goal. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's kind of what I'm planning on doing with this piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, and we'll get started in just a minute. Okay, I'm ready to go. So let's start with the sky first. So I'm going to drizzle some blue in here. This blue is just going to kind of come up behind it, behind the gray, mostly going to be gray. And we have some of this pinkish coral color in here. Now I'm going to kind of take it and go along this side here. And so this is kind of a dirty pour swipe is kind of what it is. And more. I'm gonna do some pink here. So I really want this pink to define this right at that. There we go. Let's get this going off the edge here. I'll get some up in here. Okay. So now gonna get my edges here. And I'll probably scrape this paint too, so and use it for something else later. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the majority of this down here. And again, it's a dirty pour, so I'm just gonna let it kind of go everywhere. A little bit of this up here. Some of this gray down here. And I think we're good. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and do, let's see. Give myself. Looks like a muddy mess. So we're gonna work on this a little bit. Yeah, I don't like the gray. I thought that was going to be pretty, but I'd rather use paint, or the gray that I came up with. I'd rather use the Payne's gray. I would rather use the Payne's gray. Yeah. So, okay, well, let's see what we can do here. Let's use the space gray here. Kind of define this line here. I'll touch it up with a smaller tool in a little bit. Let me get this cleaned off. Because now I'm going to come like this. I want a little bit of Payne's Gray here. I like that in the sky better. Do some streaks through here. I don't like this gray at all. That's okay. We'll get it. Let's get some more blue up here. And then let's do silver. I think the silver will look nice. The silver looked cool through there, so. Come this way. I like how that right there, but I need more of a defined line. So I'm going to put this Payne's Gray. The Payne's Gray seems to work the best for my horizons. Okay. All right, let me get some more paper towels so that I can wipe this off. Whoops. I won't do that. So anytime you use that wood conditioner, it stinks. So you need to be aware of that. It does stink. Okay. Let's put some more Payne's Gray here. It's too much blue. We're going to go as straight as we possibly can along the horizon. Oops, that's probably too much Payne's Gray. Looks kind of cool though. That's more of what I was looking for. So I think I'm going to keep that. Let's see. I'd like to get this a little darker up here. Okay, so for now, I'm done with this. It's not what I'd like. It's not exactly where I want it. But I am probably going to let it dry and try to do the same technique that I used on it the first time. And then, so kind of like letting it dry and then kind of like make some texture to it. But while I'm doing that, I am going to do some wave stuff through here. So I'm going to flip this around so that you can see it. Let's go this way. Oh, so you can see me doing it and I can do it easily. Easier, I should say. Okay, so I think you can still see that. I'm going to move this off to the side and let it dry. Have my paper towels. Now with this, I'll be utilizing my white and my conditioner with Payne's Gray. So I'll be making sure I have some extra Payne's Gray in there too as well. So let's just try a little bit right here. And just a little bit right there. And let me just show you the way this works. Oh, I want a little bit of gray behind it. Okay. This is not doing what it did the last time I did it. Still looking cool. Looks like it's moving a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and torch this, bring up all the bubbles, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to come back with it. But I am going to put a little bit of white up here where I want the moon to be. So I'm going to let that go. It is somewhat pretty much dry, except for a few areas. And you know what, I'm gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna show you that utilizing some video. So I'll put that here. So I've got my phone out. Okay, so here is the canvas before. You can kind of see, if you look across the edge of the canvas, that some areas are dry and some areas are wet. So like this is dry right in here, but then right in this area it's wet. And so we're gonna see if that worked with this particular canvas, and if by waiting 24 hours works or not. All right, well, let me get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you from a distance, and then I'll get you over top of it if it starts to, if it is working. So I am going to want to get on this moon. It kind of went a little wonky. I am going to get a little bit of Payne's grain and go across it, kind of like clouds type of a thing. And I'm hoping I'll get some of that on my tool to go across that. Okay, so let's start. Let's start here down at the bottom. Yep, so there is some. Yep, it's working. So let me go up across here. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to actually get you down closer so you can actually see how this technique is working. Okay, so I did a little bit right here, and then I took a little bit of this paint that I transposed on this swiping tool, and I went across the moon to kind of make a little bit of cloud, if you will. Okay, so now I'm going to go back down here, and I'm going to swipe in just a few areas. I want to take a little bit of this curviness out. I did that just to kind of get some wave motion, but I want to get some of that out of there. And I love how it transposes, and it really makes kind of like a reflection of the paint. Yeah, so you have to wait minimally 24 hours, it looks like, to really get this texture look that I'm trying to go with. So if you see, I'm going to go a little slower. So if you see, it kind of skips across. It goes kind of bump, 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 bump. You can kind of feel it. This is pretty dry area here, so there's some there. And then I take that color that I'm pulling up from underneath, and I just kind of go in different areas, so it kind of makes it so that it's blending even more. It's bringing that white up. Get rid of some of this white here. Looks almost too white there. And that's kind of cool because that's the reflection of the moon. Okay, so now I'm going to come up. I'm going to take this, get this off of here. So I haven't been cleaning my apparatus. I have actually been just kind of scraping it across. Nice and slow actually seems to work a little bit better than going like as fast as what I was doing earlier. Yeah, I'm going to take this all the way across. I really like this technique. It's cool. I want to get out these rounded areas over here a little bit more. you still have the roundedness behind it because you want to still see some movement and not just straight across, because I did want it a little rocky out there. So, okay, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna clean it, and then I'm gonna head into the sky area. And I might come back and reutilize some of that color up in the sky, because I did use Payne's Gray up into the sky. So let's kind of start up here. There it goes. It's kind of right through there. Awesome. And then I bring that pink up in here. Mostly I want the pink at the horizon, but I do want a little bit on the sides. It's pretty wet in here, so I've got to be really careful not to smear it too much. Get a little pink up here in the moon. I'm going to go slow here. Get some of that pink up there, and then I'm going to come up in this area here. I am going to probably get some of the white and try to get up in this area up here too. And on top of the pink, I'm going to do some of the Payne's Gray. So the white will have a little bit of like, add some little bit of cloud stuff. And I think that's all the pink I want. So I'm going to go back across one more time right through here. Right, really straighten out this horizon a little bit. There. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it so you can see it, and then I can play with the sky a little bit better. There. So can you see the texture in there? Really cool. Okay. Make sure that it's centered here for you. There you go. All right, so I'm going to pull in some of this white. Get some of this white. Actually, I'm going to kind of take some of this pink. Get a little bit pink and kind of come in here a little bit. You know, because it's kind of the reflection of the sun too that's coming up. Here we go. Okay, so now grab some of this white here. I think it was here and here that I could grab some white. So gray, got some. There we go. Kind of like the silver lining and clouds, right? Scrape that too much. Get some blue back in there. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around so now that I can see it and I can see the composition a little bit better. Actually, I got to get up here. So let me grab a little bit. I really like to grab some dark. Let me turn it so I can see it now. It's too wet through here. It wasn't dry enough, or I pushed down too hard, so now it's sliding. I think what it looks like is like the sun is coming up over here with the moon right there, and I don't like that because really that's not natural. So I'd like it so that, because there's quite a bit of pink up here, so I'd like to see if I can figure out a way to get some dark in this area to stick with this pink and put more pink maybe over here. Excuse me. So I'm going to grab some of this pink. Okay, and I'm going to put it over here. Now I want to take some blue and white, and I want to recover this pink area here that I kind of started to highlight that, and then see if I can get some blue. So what I'm going to do is, I have a little bit of extra paint over here from yesterday's pour. So I'm gonna get a little bit of Payne's Gray and try to darken this. See what I can do here. I think this is Payne's Gray, so I'm going to try to do a little bit there. And I'm just going to pour a little bit on this piece of plastic here. Yeah, I don't think that's Payne's Gray. I think that's black. So, all right, hold on. Wait. Nope, that's bad one. There's some Payne's Gray and white. It's not dark enough. That. All right, well, let's use a little bit of this and a little bit of that. There we go. You can't even see it. So this is what I'm doing. Sorry guys. So I put a little bit of Payne's Gray, which kind of looks like black, but it's not black. It's actually Payne's Gray. It's just looks a lot darker than it does on here. Then this right here was kind of a mixture. This was a little lighter. So I'm just kind of mixing them together a little bit. I'll pull you back so you can kind of see what I'm doing on the side. Sorry about that. Let's pull you back. Oh, that way. And then I'm going to move you over just a tad so you can kind of see that over there. There. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing. So I do want dark, and I do want a little bit of light through here. There. Okay, so I also have a little bit of the pink here too. So I'm going to put that in with this lighter stuff here. See if I can pull out some pink in here. Oh, too light. Dang it. So if this is where I want the sun to be coming up, put a little bit of pink here. A little bit of pink there. Need a more defined line for my horizon. So I'm going to swipe this a little bit here in just a minute. Dark on here. Might have fiddled with it too much. So let me get some, oops, I just got paint on my face. Let me pull some white. The good thing is even if this composition doesn't come out how I want it to come out, is I finally discovered really though what the how long I have to wait until the paint is dry. So okay, now I'm going to try to make this really thin line of pink right above the horizon like I had before. So again, you know, even if this composition doesn't turn out the way I would want it to turn out, or had hoped it would, I do believe that this really is a really cool technique to use, you know. This one needs to be just a little higher. Let me grab some dark blue and add in the pink. Okay, so that looks better, that the sun's coming up over here, and the moon is here, so I'm just going to get a little bit more of the dark on top. Wonder if I should add in a little bit of blue. And then dark Payne's gray. There, that's looking better. I just wanted a thin line, so like when you see the horizon of as the sun's coming up, usually where the sun is at, you'll see a little bit more, but then you'll see a thin horizon created by the sun's light, right? So there we go. Okay, I think I'm done. I'll bring you down and show you it, and then once it's dry, I'll put it up on the wall and show you the final results. I'm happy with the fact that I was able to utilize the tool and get some of that you know, texture that I was hoping for, that I couldn't master, although I, you know, did it one time. The other thing is I think I went across it too much. If I would have done the sides a little bit and kind of kept this kind of, you know, a little bit more smooth, or a little bit more with the waves that was kind of going through it, I think it would have probably even looked a little bit more, I don't want to say better, but maybe a better composition, maybe. But we'll see how it comes out. As I'm saying that, I'm kind of starting to kind of streak it here in the center just to make it less wavy, if you will, and less jumpy, but still has some good texture to it. And yeah, I like it. I like this technique, and I'm happy I found it, and I think I can make some really cool designs with it. All right, I'm not sure if I love this yet, but I think it's a 2 thumbs up for sure. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that way you can get notified when I have a new video up. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.